In today's video, we're going to talk about the weight shift in your golf swing, or more precisely, how you shift your pressure in your golf swing, because it'll play a big role on your hand path in your backswing and in your downswing. And while we're at it today, we're going to talk a little bit about the downswing and that hand path. We'll give you some drills to really help you fine-tune that downswing path so it works really well with how you're shifting your weight. So starting off, when you get into your setup, we need to talk about where your weight needs to sit, all right? Because if your weight is in the improper positions, it's going to be really hard for you to basically move your feet or move your pressure and your weight the correct way. So when you set up to it, all right, I don't want to see a lot of weight on your back foot, front foot, all right? It should be like, let's say 45-55 or 55-45, very similar to basically being even. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to start off with. If you have somebody look at you and it looks like you're leaning forward, your weight shift's going to be struggling, or if it looks like it's leaning backwards, you're really going to struggle with how you need to shift your pressure and your weight in your golf swing. And when it comes to where your weight sits from the behind view here, all right, if you have your weight leaning forward, it's going to be really hard for you to shift your weight the way we're going to talk about in this video. So when you set up to it, I want you to feel like that weight is going down right through the front of the ankle. All right, so if you are setting up correctly, if you have your butt too far back, it's going to feel like it's on its heels. If your butt doesn't go back and you lean forward a lot, it's going to feel like it's on its toes. So we need to feel like it's going right through the middle of the ankle. A good balance point for you to check is basically if you drop the club from underneath your armpit, it should go through your kneecap, right through the middle of your foot. So if you're leaning too far forward, it'll be out there. If you're too far back, it'll be behind you. All right, so that's a very good way for you to check your weight. All right, so now that we have the correct positions of where our weight should be in our feet, we're gonna go ahead and talk about how it should move. So we're all set up. We've got good balance points. The first thing, as you swing back, all right, the weight should start to move into your right ankle. All right, it's not going to go onto the heel, because if it goes onto the heel, you're going to kind of see your back foot start to swizzle or do something weird. All right, it doesn't need to go too far back. That's a lot of times when we see that right leg kind of lock, because people are really trying to get it in that right back leg. All right, so when you turn it, when you move your pressure back, it goes into that right ankle. Okay, gets to the top of the backswing. All right, it's going to be a little bit different with irons. It's a little bit closer to 75% of your weight. Driver, might as well just keep it pretty similar, right? It doesn't have to be like 100%. That's going to be really hard for you then to move back into the golf ball. So from the backswing, as you move the club back, weight goes into the ankle, and you'll have a little bit of weight kind of go into the middle of the front foot. We don't need it to go a lot like that. If you see a lot of weight go to your front foot, you're going to have some issues, some struggles that's going there, all right? So pressure moves into the heel or into the ankle of the right back foot in your backswing. So we move that weight into the ankle of the right back foot. Now on the downswing, it's going to go to the lead toe or the lead foot. So it's going to go to the foot, and then finally, as you swing through and turn, it goes to the heel. A lot of problems that I see that golfers have who tend to slice the ball is they will take it to the top, weight goes to the toe, and then they're trying to turn really fast, and so they get onto their heel really fast and they come across it. So you can see, if I go toe heel, you can see how that path makes it a slice path. Okay, and so if I go heel toe, you can see it's more of a shallow path or more of a draw path. Okay, depending on what you do with your club face, and then it goes back there, and so then it's nice and straight at impact. So it's basically, that is how the weight shift affects your hand path. Okay, now if we're talking about impact, where the weight should be, right, I would say at impact it's going to feel like it's right down through your ankle. It's not going to be on the toe anymore. It's not going to be way through the heel. Mid-foot at impact. And a good portion of that weight is going to be forward too. So we're talking like 80%, some might be more. Okay. If you turn, get all your weight back here, and then you keep it back, all right, that's when we lose a whole lot of power, a whole lot of consistency, because we start flipping at it. All right, just like any other sport out there, if you see a quarterback or a pitcher throw the ball, they finish on their front foot because they're trying to get all the momentum going where they're trying to throw it, how hard they're trying to throw it. All right, so we want the exact same thing. We want that momentum going forward, midfoot, all right, and make sure we move our weight shift correctly so the hand path moves correct with us. We don't want, just because our hand path is all messed up, just because we just don't understand how to shift our weight, that's just, we don't want that to happen in the golf swing. This is something that we can work on over the winter. You can work on in the driving range. You don't even need a golf club. You can just practice what it kind of feels like, right? And you kind of see when I move forward, there's a little bump in my hips, not a huge slide, a little bump in my hips, get that weight going to that front toe, midfoot, and then heel when we finish. So this drill, all you need is basically a noodle. You can use an alignment rod, you can use a broken shaft, whatever you think it might revolve around, all right? That's what you're gonna use. You just need something, so hopefully you don't hurt yourself. Again, driving range, backyard, you can do it anywhere. I'll show you the face-on picture of this in just a second. So when you take that club back, right, you can still take it on plane, all right? It's gonna be underneath the noodle. And then when you get to the top, you're gonna check where your weight is, right? And then on the downswing, you can practice feeling like your hands actually come close to you. So it's gonna be even closer than where you took it away, right? Lead front foot, weight's going forward, heel, and then all the way through. Right? And so that's a really good way to work on your hand path along with your weight shift. We don't want the hands, even though, let's say, our weight's in our right heel, but then we get the weight going forward and we kind of force our hands out that way, that's going to lead to the face. The more you push your hands that way, the more the face opens, right? The more you pull your hands down, the more the face closes. So we want it to be a happy place right in the middle. So you're going to take that club back, and when you drop it down close to you, all right, the face is going to start to square up nicely, and then right into the ball. Okay, so that's a very simple drill. Now I'll show you what it looks like face on. Now from this angle, you can see how far the noodle is away from me. Okay, so when we take that back, again, we can still take it on plane on the way back, it doesn't matter, right? Hands feel like they pull close to me. Weight starts to go to that front foot on the way down, front foot, ankle, heel on the way through.